raised my hand. Okay. Welcome in, guys, to all the viewers out there. This is the official Up and Up podcast. This is our second episode, our first one that we are airing, though.
Yes.
Welcome in.
Rest in peace to the first episode. Never will be seen. Maybe we'll be seen in the future. Who knows?
Maybe we'll do a little throwback after you.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Bet. Okay, so I'm Christian.
I'm Josh.
We will be your two co-hosts, and we will have another host. You guys know him, probably seen him before. We'll kind of introduce him on his episode. And then just to get going, we'll have a couple mini episodes all kind of interviewing each other. Josh is up, the lucky guest first.
Yes, sir.
But go ahead and drop any comments of what you guys want to hear about. And also, let's get going.
So, so we kind of just want to break it up into a couple different sections. So I'm just going to kind of give a brief summary about what I've done in the aspect of social media. So
who is Josh Arce?
Who is Josh Arce? That's a very good question. A lot of people don't even know me as Josh Arce on social media. It's more just like I started off kind of on Instagram, switched over to TikTok when it blew up. I started a page called GamingRemembered, quickly blew up to close to 200,000 followers before I had to stop. And then after that, I proceeded to move on to a different social media platform, which a lot of you guys are probably going to recognize me from, mostly are going to recognize me from, which is Mrcommentcard. If you guys don't know what that is, it's where I just scratch lottery tickets on TikTok lives, and I do a bunch of videos, and it's just a lot of fun.
Sick, dude. So I know you have a pretty good pass with the social media game, and a lot that I didn't even know about that I found out till later. So I'm just going to go right into it, man. I want to talk about how kind of like you first started, and so, GamingRemembered is your gaming channel, and then how many followers did you say you have?
I have 170,000 on the GamingRemembered, and then 11,000 on Mrcommentcard.
Okay, and then you do both TikTok and YouTube, correct?
Yes.
Cool. So, how did you? Okay, just to preface this real quick, Josh's GamingRemembered on TikTok is literally just videos of video games. Like, he's not necessarily playing them. They're just like highlighted clips of these video games that y'all know, like Call of Duty, Halo, stuff like that. And it's super cool. It's an interesting thing that I wouldn't have ever thought of. What made you think of this idea?
To be 100% honest, I just I always felt like just in social medias, I've always been blowing up with ideas. The reason I created the GamingRemembered page is to I actually just started it because I wasn't going to take it serious. I was just going to use it to test the TikTok algorithm. And I used it to do that. And when I started using and trying to take advantage of the TikTok algorithm, it blew up. But like I said, I did have to end up stopping. But I've always had like really explosive ideas when it came to social media. And I kind of wanted to just leverage a lot of like nostalgia. Like I wanted to bring back the nostalgia around video games. Because it just seems like video games is like, I'm not trying to diss video games, but they seem like old news at this point. I mean, we don't see people playing them like they used to. I'm not trying to diss old video games, but let's be honest, like when's the last time a really good Call of Duty has came out? Cold War was amazing, but when they released it, it was just, the bugs were just absolute garbage. But like I said, just in social media, I just kind of always exploded with some ideas, and I wanted to leverage people and bring them over to my YouTube, which is really, really what I kind of want to do.
Cool, man. Super cool. And just to touch on that real quick, you say that video games are kind of like, I wouldn't even call them old news, man, because right now it was when everyone's on Twitch. I'm not too big into video games, but dude, there's so many people on Twitch, like Mike Malek from Impulsive, like all these big time celebrities. They'll just go and Twitch and play video games and stuff like that, just because they have an audience there. They can just kind of talk to their friends and stuff like that.
Right. No, I 100% agree with that. There is like in the terms of streaming, like in video games, I feel like that's as big as it's ever been. But for the quality of games, maybe it's just because I'm getting a little older. I mean, I'm 20, but it just feels like there hasn't been a really good single player game coming out. There's not really good multiplayer games. There's some games we can fall back onto that are a little older, but I just haven't really seen a game that has interested me in particular. So I guess I can't speak for everybody, But for me personally, video games is something that I'm putting a little bit on the back burner. But I would like to return to streaming and stuff like that. That would be really, really fun. But I don't play video games on my own.
Cool, man. So real quick, just a transition. So you're super big onto this and video games and stuff like that, kind of separated from the video games from your actual channel and what you've done. So you've taken a break from that specific channel, right?
Right.
So what you've done is crazy, man. You've grown a huge audience, but then you were actually able to transfer these TikTok followers into YouTube followers, which I think most people try to do on TikTok, because we want to talk about that too and how you can. So first things first, how did you grow? I know you've had I know you said you just have had good ideas and kind of exploded on TikTok, but do you think that you kind of found a way to play the algorithm, or do you think that you did anything different than other people as to why you grew? Was it a luck factor? What do you think it was?
Ooh, yeah, that's a really good question. Actually, there's a lot to get into that. I definitely think that you can use TikTok's algorithm to your advantage if you follow what TikTok wants you to do, which isn't easy. And it almost seems like TikTok values quantity over quality, but it seems like they're kind of switching more over, we can kind of, you know what I mean? They're switching a little bit more over to quality over quantity now, but it always seemed like TikTok was just pump out as many videos as you want. And at the time when I was built, that's all you had to do was just put out videos and you would get followers. And the reason is that I don't think that TikTok's algorithm is too much going to be too explosive in the future. We're already starting to see it go a little bit down. But it's gonna start, like I said, it's gonna start going down. But that's why I wanted to transfer everyone to YouTube. The real fans who want to continue on and keep moving through something that, because YouTube's been sustainable. It's been around. So that's kind of my whole reasoning about going to trying to switch it over to YouTube. And yeah, I 100% think you can. TikTok is an amazing platform to blow yourself up on. Anyone can use it. Anyone. Cool. I think luck is definitely a factor, but I wouldn't say that it would take up the majority.
Okay, cool, man. So just to people watching and listening, they obviously want to know what we're talking about, obviously, but more detail, why do you do it? A lot of people definitely would want to take social media and do it as a profession kind of a thing. Would you be willing to talk about how much money you made, where you made the most amount of money, what you even like doing the best that may have not brought in the most money?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. So for me personally, all my life going into social media, I would be lying if I were to say that I've actually profited. I would say that I've generated an income that has helped me, but at the end of the day, when you're in social media, it's a business. It's just like anything else. You're going to have to reinvest that money right back into the business if you want to keep growing, and you're growing. We're doing giveaways for the lottery example. Let's say I buy $100 worth of cards, I scratch them, maybe win $50, so I get half my money back. But I'm giving that money away, and then I have to also go back to the store and buy additional cards on top of that. So even donations that I get, it's really, really, Gaming Remembered was coming to a point where it was going to be profitable. It was getting really, really close, and I was probably around 4 to 6 months away from that. And I was getting involved with some contracts that I was going to sign, but I can't really get too much into that. But in terms of Mrcommentcard, that one is not profitable at the moment, and it's more for the people. It's more for my followers, not my own personal game. Okay. But yeah, I would say, just to give you an idea, I was probably making around $400 to $600 on Gaming Remembered towards the end. $400 to $600 a month.
$400 to $600 a month. And was that from TikTok mostly or from YouTube? So
it was actually, a lot of it was from merchandise. So merchandise was probably one of my biggest ones. TikTok never really paid anything.
What kind of merch?
So I was releasing shirts. I had 2 shirts and 2 hoodies that I released.
2 shirts and 2 hoodies. That's sick, dude. How do you feel people out there wearing stuff with your name on it? Oh my God,
it is the best feeling ever. It's a weird, but it's a really good feeling, that because people want to represent what you're all about, because people like you so much. I remember the first person, they're probably going to watch this podcast. Their name's Skilled Bull. That was their name. I don't know if they're still, what their name is now, but they were the first person, shout out to you, to ever buy my merch. And they sent me a picture, and when I saw that picture with you and your brother in the merchandise, literally made my whole entire month. That was like such a good feeling. It made me feel so good. It's awesome. It's a really good thing.
Cool, man. And you're pursuing social media now, which is great. I told you to never stop with the Gaming Remembered thing. Obviously, life happens, things like that. I mean, and I'm no one to come at you and say you never should stop, But
yeah.
But Mrcommentcard, for those of you that don't know, it's just a page where no one knows or he doesn't see his face. So I think that's one of the coolest part is that he doesn't show his face. It's primarily just his hands and lottery scratcher tickets. So I think what brings the attention to people is the unknown, right? They can win up to like $888 on some cards, and so anyone who sees this TikTok and comments a certain number, and then if he picks you, then you get to keep the money that he scratches. What's been the most amount of money you've won or someone has won so far?
I think it hasn't been something super crazy, but I feel like in total winnings we've had over. I think when it was Old County, it was like around $400 in total winnings. But the biggest win was $18, and I have over 1,000 cards that I've scratched.
1,000
yeah,
cards?
I haven't showed you, but there's like a stack it's like this big. It's like this big.
So you spent over $1,000 on lottery scratchers.
Yes, and what has helped me is that some people don't claim their rewards. So it goes right back in, guys. If you don't claim, if you don't drop your Venmo when you win, I'm just gonna reinvest it after, or I'm gonna turn it in and then get more cards with it. So someone claimed the $18 one, which was the biggest one. I don't think there was a $10 one that no one claimed. That one obviously helped. And also, there's cards that I scratched and I didn't realize that actually won until I got into the store, which was really interesting. And because I remember I scratched. I thought I counted $70 worth of cards. I walked out with $140. So I don't know how I doubled it. So it happens, man.
That's cool. I mean, maybe there's someone out there that watched one of your TikToks like, dude, that was a winner, and is probably mad at you. You lost a follower there, dude.
Yeah, probably.
Joke's on you, actually.
It happens all the time. It happens all the time. I mean, I see people in my live stream where they're just like, oh, you don't pick me, and when I was having the Mrcommentcard live stream, there was at one point over 1,000 people watching. It was absolutely insane. It was the craziest feeling ever. The chat was flying so fast I couldn't even read it, and there was just, I didn't even know what to do. It was absolutely insane.
How many people have you had on a live stream before that? More so for Gaming Remembered and Twitch, or not? You would YouTube stream. That's not Twitch, right? Or is that the same thing?
So yeah, YouTube and Twitch are kind of like the same thing, but Twitch is more geared towards, video games. I think, like more just for video game streaming, and I guess YouTube you can kind of just do whatever you want. You can do video games and other stuff. But what was your question again?
Oh, how many people have you had on your live streams before that?
Oh yeah. That's an interesting question. On TikTok, it was around 100 people is the max I've ever topped off on. And this is like, sometimes I would stream for 8 to 12 hours a day. And on YouTube, my max amount I've ever had, I think was around maybe 50 to 80 people. 50 to 80 people. I've never had any, like it for me to have 1,000 people, going from streaming to 12 hours to 12 hours a day and only streaming to 50 people, which I thought was personally a lot. That is a lot of people. You imagine 50 people walked in here right now. I don't think we could even fit 50 people in here. I mean, do you think so? Or?
No, 50 people would definitely.
Yeah. So, for me to have, only stream for 2 hours, have a total of 17,000 viewers and a top viewer count of 1.1K, I couldn't, I still can't wrap my mind around it. It doesn't even feel real.
Cool, man. That's crazy. I've never done anything like that, so I can't imagine feeling that feel. And most people, dude. I don't know what kind of audience we have watching here, but we'd be like, oh my gosh, that's pretty crazy. Or some people, man, I don't know, maybe we're like, well, this guy's weak. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But that being said, man, I know you've been having troubles with this page so far. So what's your plan going forward with this troubles you have so far? And then also Gaming Remembered. When's the last time you've posted on there, or do you plan on reviving that page? Do you plan on doing 2 TikToks? What's your goals here?
So I'm dude, I'm all over the place, and I'm so down to even do 5 TikToks if I could. I love TikTok. I love making content so much, and the thing about me, like I said, is I'm always exploding with ideas, and I always want to do one thing. I don't always want to stick with, one aspect. I kind of want to just jump around and do a whole bunch of different things. So Gaming Remembered getting revived, I would love to, and honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I genuinely like streaming on my gaming page to a smaller audience, just because I get to play with more of the the fans and the friends, and it's a lot easier to read the chat. But that's not saying I don't want to obviously blow up and stuff like that. That would be cool. But on my streaming pages, I never minded streaming to 50 people. It was a lot of fun. So in that aspect, yes, it is possible, and I wouldn't where I'm gonna make multiple TikToks in the future. But Mrcommentcard, jeez, I've been having so much trouble with this page. I mean, TikTok does not want to see me run this page. I think I've had like a total of 10 community guideline strikes in total on Mrcommentcard. One of them has sustained. All 9 others have been appealed. TikTok doesn't give a damn though, because they will never respond to you. I've messaged them so many times about this. They just don't respond. It's coming to the point where my videos are literally just not showing up. I could look at my page. It just doesn't show up for anyone except me. I'm legitly, at the moment, I am shadow banned on TikTok. So that's the reason why I can post on TikTok, but it doesn't matter how many times I post. It's never gonna get any views because it's just not gonna show for anyone, which sucks. And I'm trying to work around it. Worst case scenario, make another page. What can you do?
Okay, so anyone out there watching, if you have any tips on if you are shadow banned, what can you do about it? Okay, let's talk best and worst case scenario here. Let's say this shadow ban, because it's true. I went on his page on my TikTok, and you can look up his videos, and they're not even on his page. You can only see posts from yesterday. So that sucks. That is terrible. I've heard about this thing happening before, and TikTok just kind of like reviews your videos before you post it, or before it actually publishes it. But it sounds like what you've experienced before, they may not get approved. So what are you gonna, if let's say it is shadow banned, are you gonna make a new account? Obviously you're not gonna give up completely. It's been doing really well for you.
Yeah, it's been doing really, really well, and it would be a huge loss on my part to have to make a completely new TikTok. It's like starting over. It's almost like I would never even scratch one of those cards, It sucks that that's the thing. But like I said, it's more for the people. But I do want to grow. I want to be able to give out more cards, and for me to do that, I need to be able to have exposure, because the more exposure I get, the more I can actually provide to the people. And a lot of people, understand and realize that. Worst case scenario, make a new page. I really, really would not, want to. Like I said, worst case scenario. Best case scenario, TikTok is like calms down on me. I'm going to keep trying to get over the shadow ban, but for the next 30 days, based off of what I'm hearing, shadow bans can last up to 30 days. And at this point, I just got to play TikTok's game, and they'll slowly work me back into there, But, at this point, like I said, you got to work with TikTok, or they can silence you. They'll shut you down. They don't give a damn.
That sucks, man. And that goes back to what we talked about earlier, is actually transferring your followers, right?
Yeah.
Because there's always TikTok is cool, and in my opinion, there's always going to be, obviously, right, there's going to be another app that comes out in the future. How soon, we don't know. But that's going to be the one that pop off, right? And people start going on that one.
Yeah.
As we've seen it before, there's a bunch of different stuff. But that being said, and that's kind of, what do you have going outside of TikTok and social media? So people can know who you are other than Mrcommentcard and Gaming Remembered.
Well, yeah. Right now I'm super into fitness and health. Keeping your mental health in check like that. That. That's what I've been working on the most lately. Stuff gets rough. Everybody has their things that go on. Right now I'm probably going through one of the worst periods I've ever gone through in my life. Not literally like a girl period, but No, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But no, this is probably by far the worst year I've ever had in my life. And I feel like I've been handling it fairly well to a certain extent by not letting myself go, you know, because I'm using that as fuel. You know, I'm just adding fuel to the fire at this point. Right now, I'm trying to make some moves. Me and you got the dog breeding going on. That's going to be really fun. We got a new dog named Zell. It's a French bulldog.
We got a Frenchie. If anyone wants a Frenchie, hit us up in about 9 months.
In about 9 months, hell yeah.
She's super cool. Maybe we'll link the Instagram page below.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want a Frenchie, know anyone that wants a Frenchie, it's a good business. We can talk about that later too.
Heck yeah.
That's another topic on its own.
Oh yeah. I feel like a lot of people. Yeah, if you guys are interested to learn about dog breeding, just let us know because we are currently learning about it, and it's really, really like intriguing and interesting.
Yeah, do you hear? I mean, this is a bit. Honestly, I wouldn't say it's saturated, but it could definitely be saturated, especially with Frenchies. There's so many people out there that actually breed dogs, and there's a lot to know about it. This guy that we bought the Frenchie from helped us out a lot, and he makes a lot of money out doing it. Like he had like 12, 15 Frenchies in his house walking around.
Oh yeah, no, we walked in there. There's so many of them. It was crazy. It's like whole house was just full of Frenchies. So I was like, dang, so this is how it's gonna be, huh?
Cool, man. And anything else that you think people would want to hear about you and what you got going on?
To everybody who came from Mrcommentcard, shout out to you. You guys are absolute beauties. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here and spending your time with me. To anyone who's came here from Gaming Remembered, I know I still have people that are have been waiting for this podcast from there as well. Shout out to you. Thank you for being there from the beginning because that's where I did start. That's where I got most of my experience. Yeah, I did do 12-hour live streams 5 to 6 times a week, and those were some of the hardest I've ever worked. I mean, streaming is so much fun, but there's just so much to it. I mean, you got to keep a lot of energy. I mean, like I said, we can talk about it all day. But shout out to everybody from Gaming Remembered and Mrcommentcard. Other than that, I think we can move forth with this podcast, and this is what it's gonna be, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Let's go. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Drop that like button. Hit the subscribe.
And post notifications on. Hit that bell icon. Do not forget so it updates you every single time that we get a post live.
Shoo! Signing out.
Let's go. Let's go.